What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and more information has now come out over what appears to be a swatting in some way, shape, or form. I kind of wasn't sure which channel I wanted to cover this on, but because of the video game relation, I thought I would cover it here because it's truly an unfortunate tale. So back in July, a 40-year-old father lost his life answering the door to law enforcement. Now, the situation is more complicated than just that, but now we have all of the details, including body cam footage, which to me seems like a neighbor didn't like that they were playing video games too loud and then trumped up the call to law enforcement, which led to tragedy. Man who is 40 years old, loses life by Arizona PD at point-blank range after he answered the door armed, but after a neighbor had made a noise complaint. But his girlfriend says they were playing video games. Arizona man Ryan Whitaker, 40, lost his life on May 21st around 10 p.m. He answered the door armed, but as he tried to put it down, the officer responded in his back, by the way. His girlfriend said they were making salsa and playing video games at the times. They were said to be responding to a noise complaint and potential domestic situation. She said he answered the door armed because people had knocked on their door in the middle of the night before on 2 other occasions, and it made them nervous. Here's another interesting thing, piece of information that the article, I don't know if this particular article will lay it out, but when officers knocked on the door, they then stepped away from the peephole so he couldn't see who was outside. Now, body cam footage has showed how a noise complaint in Arizona turned the worst possible scenario where a man was playing video games and lost his life. You can see he comes to the door. Earlier in the day, he had attended his daughter's graduation. So when he opened the door, he was confronted by 2 officers, and they were surprised by the sight of his sidearm. Just 3 seconds later, Phoenix officer Jeff Cook ended his life. The situation, and again, this is so messed up. And I've said before that law enforcement absolutely needs reform. This also doesn't affect just one type of person, does it? The Phoenix Police Department knew from the night of the event that this was a false and exaggerated 911 call. Matthew Cunningham, the Whitaker's family lawyer, said there were 2 911 calls about people screaming at each other, and the caller said he couldn't sleep because of the noise. The second call alleged the shouts had escalated into a physical altercation. Quote, "It could be physical. I could say yeah. If that makes anybody, hurry on up. Get anybody here fast," the caller said. Imagine calling 911 because your neighbor is playing Crash Bandicoot too long. And it's only 10 o'clock at night. It's not like it was 4 in the morning. In the body cam footage, the officers are seen mocking the caller for not giving enough helpful information and insisting the officers come quickly. When they get to his door and knock, he opens it with his weapon visible in his hands. Then he quickly takes a couple steps out of the apartment as Ferragamo flashes a light in his face. He repeatedly yells hands after seeing the weapon. Whitaker then gets on his knees and raises his left hand and puts the weapon behind his back. Then the other officer fired into his back. His girlfriend comes out asking, "Why did you guys do that?" And she said, "He pulled on us, ma'am." She says, "Because it's dark and someone just knocked on the door." Nees asked officers why they're even there, and they said they received a call about a fight between them. She says that she heard a knock on the door in the middle of the night a few days earlier, but when he looked through the door's peephole, whoever knocked was gone. She said on another occasion, a woman who used to live in the complex knocked on his door asking for help because she had gotten into a fight with her partner. She said they were playing Crash Bandicoot on PlayStation and making salsa when the cops knocked. Literally, we were making salsa and playing Crash Bandicoot. There may have been some screaming, she said. It wasn't that type of situation. Need tells the officers that she had gone to his daughter's high school graduation earlier that day. Absolutely, absolutely just brutal. Brutal. This goes, and by the way, I'm going to leave a link to this petition. I'm not sure if there's a GoFundMe attached to it, but, right now, where's the rioting for Ryan? A father who was playing Crash Bandicoot on PlayStation. Now, you could make the argument, why did he have his piece? That's unfortunate, but also his right. Why did the officers not identify themselves? Why didn't they stand in plain sight in front of the peephole where they could be seen? We don't know every little detail about this, but what we do know is children lost their father. We do know that a chump neighbor called 911. First of all, that's a non-emergency type call. We know that neighbor purposely escalated the situation in order to get video games turned down. To me, this is essentially a swatting, and it's just disgusting. Disgusting. And they have here on August 4th, thank you for your continued support for Ryan. The body cam footage and 911 call was released. And as you can see, the police were in the wrong. Please consider signing the new petition to have officers arrested. I agree with that, by the way. They did not properly announce themselves when they could hear the door unlocking. The situation could and should have been prevented. Absolutely should have. This looks like the latest one. This will be the one that I link. Charges should absolutely be brought. Absolutely. And the 911 callers should be held accountable in some way, shape, or form as well. In my opinion, they escalated this purposely. Did they know it was going to end like this? No. But they also put them in this situation where it could end like this. Just a tragic situation because a man was enjoying Crash Bandicoot and some salsa with his wife or girlfriend. Pathetic.